The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Leadership Lounge Live are for entertainment and informational purposes only. They do not reflect the official policies, beliefs, or positions of any individuals, organizations, or platforms mentioned. Viewer discretion is advised, and we encourage independent research and critical thinking. Enjoy the conversation and engage responsibly.
And happy Sunday, y'all. Welcome back to Leadership Lounge Live, where I am your host, Louis Marshall, airbrush artist and AI artist here at Marshall Artistry, here with my amazing co-host, Miss Adama. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
How are you?
I am lovely. I can't complain. Made it through July 4th.
Oh my gosh. And you got all your fingers and extremities. You didn't blow anything off. You didn't have any.
Still good. This
That's
is not still
good.
stuck in traffic.
Well, that's not fun. Traffic's no fun. But it is what it is. I'm glad you had a good time. I know that we are missing one of our crew. Mr. Ubriah has the weekend off. He's celebrating some time with his family. So shout out to you, brother, wherever you're at. I hope things are going well. We've got a special show lined up, but I just want to go over some quick updates. The first thing is, if you are on the live and you have not done so yet, I'm going to need for you guys to go on our Facebook and go follow our Leadership Lounge Network page. That's where our clips are going to be relocating to here very quickly. We're going through a little transition, but got some feedback from our fans that it's a little difficult to be able to sort through all of the content on my page. So we're trying to streamline things. I did send out some invites this last week, but if you can, please definitely go like and follow that page and check out the content that we've got dropping. That's where you're going to find the clips this week. So definitely tap in and follow our Leadership Lounge Network channel. And then Adama mentioned something that it's just too important to pass up at the beginning of the show. She mentioned to me that there are some actual changes to the terminology within our industry. She said now, instead of being a prompt engineer, we'll be context engineers. So I want to get your guys' feedback on that sometime during the show. Adama, just real quick, do you have any updates, anything new going on this week you want to talk about?
Well, there is a rumor that ChatGPT is going to possibly be down for a week. That's a rumor. Now, I haven't hard fact checked it, but I am going to research it when we got the show. I was just updating, looking through stuff, and the rumor has it it's going to be down for a week. Now, and we all know that ChatGPT will be upgrading soon to its 5, but that's all I really have. And besides that right there that you kindly, put out there, this is what we've been saying the whole time. Prompt. Prompting is everything. Now they're getting ready to put an actual context, like a word, like they're going to put structure to it. Guys, changes imminent. That's all I'm going to say.
Ooh, and you said the pay grade is pretty nice too. So I'm kind of interested in that from a creative perspective. How do we, again, and I'm going to touch on this in my segment, but how do we find other ways to make revenue from this skill set that we have really honed in our craft on? So I'm really interested to hear your opening segment. You and I talked last week about a really exciting topic, and I know Uriah wants to be a part of it. So we're going to just kind of skim over the top and get a little bit into it so that when Uriah gets back, we can kind of dive in a little further and give more context from another really expertive view. So I'm going to turn it over to you. If you can talk about your path to clarity.
Okay. So I'm really excited. I'm so happy when I saw that this is something that we're going to be speaking on. Mine is as you all know, we all are creative, but there's different aspects to our creativity. I have something that, let me just introduce, my name is Adama, and I'm here. I just want to teach a little something about productivity systems and clarity, mental clarity, spiritual clarity, and creative clarity. Because let's be real, it's your mind that gets foggy. Your calendar doesn't. Your calendar does it for me because I work more empathic and more on a faith-based and ground-based for myself. For me, I don't believe that the calendar really matters, not unless you're working for a client. Okay, let me just put that out there. But when you're working for yourself, in order to get yourself out there, you have to go with more of a clarity. And for me, that's mental and spiritual clarity, because, you know, you can get a lot. So I have this thing that I call fog, which is frustration, overthinking, and the last step is gridlock. That's what most people really are fighting, not the laziness, not the distraction, but the fog. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about it. What is fog? Fog stands for frustration. You're trying, you're doing all the things, but nothing is flowing. You feel heavy, behind, and honestly, a little angry. You just want to get it out there. You just want to just be like, oh, I just want to create this. And why can I develop a story from this? I have this beautiful art piece, or this beautiful piece that I made. Why can I get a story going from it? And that's where the frustration comes in. That's the first part of fog. The next part is the overthinking. You're stuck in your head. You're researching, you're planning, you're questioning, you're going back and forth to ChatGPT. Then you do the ultimate thing, which is really a distraction. You find yourself on social media, going to your favorite people, then you're going back to it. I mean, you keep tweaking, but you don't trust yourself. And then the last part is G. G is for gridlock. You want to move, but you don't. You freeze, you scroll, you avoid, you make excuses. That's not weakness. And that's not stupidity. That's not laziness. That's the gridlock, and it's real. So I just want to stop right here, and I want to ask our host, like, did I touch anything that I covered with that part of the fog? Have you experienced any of that with your awesome creativity when you're doing? Because I look at your stuff and I'm like, man, that's that overthinking.
Oh yeah. You know, and we talked about this a couple weeks ago with Kat, just hoarding ideas. And you know, we talked pre-show about, hey, I have a lot of videos. Like, I generate a lot of videos. I generate a lot of images. I'm doing a lot of testing. I enjoy the prompt engineering and input portion of the process, and then getting to see what those results look like. So I have a lot of videos that I've never posted. No one has seen them other than our producer, Jen. She gets to see most everything, and she'll give me feedback, but I won't post them in the feed until I'm actually ready to. So the overthinking, and then me being frustrated with myself. Hey, why am I not posting this? Just get it packaged and put together, get the message behind it, teach something, and then post it. So I am overthinking, then frustrated, then gridlock. So it might not be in the same order, but yeah, I've experienced that. I still experience that on a weekly basis. You know that in-house, I'm doing a lot of the editing for the show, and separately, I'm doing a lot of editing for myself personally. And separately, I'm doing a lot of editing for Martial Artistry. And so I'm constantly looking at, how do I just get a better piece of content to convey the message clearly so the audience receives it well. A lot of times I just don't want to post it because I think it won't be received well. And I think that's something that others struggle with as well. So I think it's a really important topic that you touched on. And I'm really curious how do you resolve it?
Yes, it's like you were just reading my mind. And I appreciate you for saying that. I mean, this is what I came up with for myself. And when I came up with the term of the fog, it just felt like I was looking in the haze. Then, I mean, I was like, you know what? Maybe I get a little wine and I can relax a little bit and then I can get it going. No, doesn't work because then I fall asleep. So right. And I'm like, oh, maybe I just get a burger or I eat something. No, doesn't work because then I go weigh myself the next day and I'm a little late. So that doesn't work either. And I'm still sitting there with this great peace and nothing is flowing for me. Okay. So how do I combat the fog? Here's what I do. Okay. The first thing, and I got sidetracked with my graduation for my daughter, but I'm going to be getting my website up and then we'll be teaching these classes. But this is what I hope everyone can take from this today. The first thing that I do for myself is I name what I'm feeling: frustrated, overthinking, or gridlock. And I loved how Lewis just said his is in a different order. But for me, this is the order that made sense for me because this is what I do. I instantly become frustrated. Instantly. And then from there, just naming it gives it control. Just naming what I'm feeling gives it control, and I know a direction of where I'm going to go. I can kind of maneuver my way through it. Because if I can name it, I can move it, right? Okay, so number 2 for me is I make a micro decision. Nothing huge, because to do that that's insanity because I'm going to repeat it in myself. I'm just going to be like, God, why can't I get this done? But so this is why I call it a micro decision. I do one small thing, not to finish, just to move. Okay. 3 minutes of movement is my secret. Even if I have to write one sentence or put a sticky note somewhere, and I have them all over my house. As a matter of fact, I have it one right here. Just telling me right, just telling me that God's amazing. You got it, So that's my sticky note over here in this corner. So even if I just write one sentence, or I clean one area of my house, or I clean one area of my desk, or I organize all my jewelry, or I even organize my pens, anything, that's momentum that matters to me. What I have been doing lately since Midjourney's update, shout out to Midjourney. I have now organized all my my codes. So my mood board is now starting to look like an actual mood board, and I'm actually able to get things done. So that's what I say by micro decision. And then
nice.
then another thing I do, this is step 3, but I hear Lewis there. So Lewis, what do you do as a micro decision? Like, because everything that we both create, I mean, all 3 of us, is like, when I look at it, I'm like, God, how did do you do one small task, or do you just say, I'm going to go, excuse me for my language, I'm going to go balls to the walls. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to get it. I'm just going to go. Or do you just do a small thing at a time?
I would say for me, so the piece of content that I'm stuck on, I'll post that 1 week out, 7 days out from whatever the current day is. Post it, but post it far enough out that I have time to work backwards through, hey, if I'm not feeling this piece of content that needs to go out, okay, let's start on the next piece of content. I say that to mean, like, because I edit so many styles of content, short form, long form, live stream, clipping down my old footage from a year ago. There are times where it's difficult for me to push that piece of content out. It's just not the right moment to push it out. And I'll just post it out later. If it needs to be a month from now, hey, schedule it out a month from now. If there's something going on in the industry, and you just talked about the Midjourney update, and yes, shout out to Midjourney. But I went back and got my clips of talking about prompt engineering, talking about keywords, uh, talking about the beginning of the framework. I recorded separate content so that, hey, if I'm not feeling the old content that I was going to redistribute, shoot some new content and package it the way that you actually want to like distribute it. The other thing that I'll say is different from me. A lot of times I'm not posting what I want at all. I'm
Mm.
posting what the audience actually is responding to or are asking for. So the content that I shoot that's solo Lewis live stream, those are most of the time questions that people have sent. And I've compiled enough questions that, hey, I can just batch record it all in one sitting, but I do it live. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect when I'm doing it in that format because I'm giving the audience what they want and not necessarily what I want to post. Now, when I'm doing my creative thing and getting in my AI bag, I'll just sit on the clips. Hey, just wait. Just like wait until it's ready. If it's not ready, don't post it. Just wait. It's fine. There's plenty of other things that you can post. Or you could ask your audience, hey, what would you like to see from me this week? I just asked in Fantasy Anonymous 2 days ago, hey, what's your favorite dragon movie of all time? Like, there's other ways that you can engage with your audience and not feel so frustrated to not post. I get that we all experience a creative burnout of sorts, but there are ways that you can still navigate through it and keep taking one little half step forward. Sometimes you got to take a half step back or a whole step backwards to take 5 steps forward. I'm a very big proponent of that. So that's kind of what I do.
And if our dude was here, Uriah, I'd be like, booyaka, booyaka, booyaka. Like, yeah, you touched on that. That's really important. I think I have not done that. I have not asked the people, what is it you want? And I'm a big advocate of that.
Well, we are. So, okay, can we dissect that just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so we are in a creator economy where we hear people talk about, hey, I want engagement, I want shares, I want comments, I want the viral moment. And how do you get that? Like for me right now, and this is a huge pain point for me. I don't want to make baby content, yo. I don't want to make the little babies that are talking and recreations from old shows. I know it's trending. I fully understand that, but that's just not what I want to make, but it's what the audience is responding to. So as a creator, you kind of have to make a decision on, well, do I post what I want or do I post what they want? So I hear you say, hey, I don't really ask them. I wonder, is there room to expand into a place where you can ask them comfortably?
Yeah, I have not thought about that. Like you said that, and my mind went like if we go back to when you originally said that, my mind and my face literally went like this. No, I don't ask them. Like
A lot of people don't.
I
It's
don't
not just
ask.
me. I'm in the same boat a lot of times. So I'm not shooting. I want to be clear. I'm not shooting at you.
No, I know you're
It's a
not, but I
lot.
just
It's a
thought about
lot of people that are just trying to figure it out in real time. But there's this hybrid approach of, hey, I
Mhm.
want to give the audience what they want, but I am playing and testing all these new things, and I just want to show what I did. And that's okay on both sides. There's room to do both. I think for me, my approach has been, because I'm testing so many new things, my way of dissecting the insights and the audience retention is who are repeating tapping like, who are repeating to comment, and what are they commenting and liking. Make more of that. Just Make more of that. Go back in and do the same prompt and permutate it with a lot of different results and post that to see, oh, is it a fluke? They just liked it just because that's the mood they were in? Or do they really actually like this style, this type? How does it resonate with them? I'm less looking, like I said at the beginning, at the monetization side of it and more looking at how do I authentically connect with the audience with the type of content that they want. That's how I'm growing.
Yo, you just
But
touched
you got to
on.
ask them. You have to ask them, hey, what do you want to see? What do you like? What do you dislike?
Yo, you just touched on something that, like that right there, what you just said. Like, I can't believe I've been doing this for so long and I have not asked. And I'm gonna apologize to you all then. Like, I literally haven't asked. I just be out here just creating, like, ooh, I'm just going, this is what I'm just feeling right now in my zone. But I'm not thinking, and I get people who say, oh, your dragons are amazing. Oh, your women structure is amazing. Oh, your, like when I do like different shapes of things, it's dope. But I don't even, or when I dive into the hip hop part, the beats, just DJing, things of that nature, I'm literally not thinking, what are the people wanting? So I know this is not a place to apologize because we're all artists, but I just got like dinged in the
Right.
head. Yo.
Well, and okay, so I want to let you continue because I know that we're going to touch on some of this later, but I think it's important to, like, when I'm hearing you say, hey, I don't usually ask, that's a real huge opportunity, I think, for everybody to grow in that space. Maybe we start asking more questions, like, but it's hard to, you have to ask that open-ended question with no expectation on the other end. Some people are just not ever going to answer the question and complain that, hey, they didn't get what they need from you because neither side communicated about, hey, what do you want to see from me? Well, I'm not posting that because I don't know that that's what you want to see. And we're in this microwave content time where, hey, just get it out there fast. Hey, if the other person posted, I have to post something today to stay relevant. Because on the flip side is, if you don't post, people will forget about you. You won't populate in the algorithm. So then your ability to like market and offer your services and products is diminished. It defeats the purpose then. So it's also about use case. How are you using this tool of social media? Are you telling a story? Are you teaching? Who's that target market? Who are you trying to tell this story to? Who are you trying to teach? And what do they need to learn? I could talk about Midjourney all day, but if nobody's using Midjourney, I'm talking to nobody.
Right. Yeah. Yo, okay. We're gonna come back to this because that's how I felt.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when VO3 came out.
Oh, facts.
That's how I felt.
I
still kind of feel it.
I haven't tried VO3. I don't have time.
I don't have time. I tried it and then it took me away from something else, and then that's when Midjourney came out with what it's doing. And I know that I'm more of a Midjourney girl, but then I kept thinking like, yo, I'm not gonna be relevant if I don't post this VO3, right? But I'm like, but that's not my element. Okay, let me circle. Here's an ADHD kicking in. Let me circle back.
Because we're gonna touch on that later. So it's perfect that you said that. I'm gonna yield. I'm gonna yield.
I'm going to yield, y'all. We're gonna yield, y'all. No more purple unicorn with skates on. We're gonna come back. We're gonna go back to what we're talking about. Okay, so I'm just gonna recap. So what I do for number one is I name what I'm feeling. Number two is I make a micro decision. Number three is I design my day for clarity, not just tasks. I don't chase a long to-do list. I ask, what deserves my energy. Not what's urgent, what's worth it. Because clarity isn't speed. I'm going to make a face with that. Clarity isn't speed.
Facts.
It's alignment. Clarity is alignment. And it resonates in whatever you create. You can tell when someone's there. And number 4, I use what I call creative bookends. That's creative bookends. In the morning, I don't just jump into work. This is on the creative part, okay? I don't just jump into the work of it. I open with an intentional word, like a flow, a truth, something that I receive for me. It could be someone's testimony, or it can be something that I just open up a page and then boom, Lewis is talking about something on his live, or I saw something that someone posted and it resonated within me and it struck something for me. A sound. Sometimes I listen to gospel, or sometimes I listen to hip hop. Sometimes I'm back to MC Lyte and Moni Love or KRS-One, or I'm listening to something old school, Sam Cooke, or just something to that nature, jazz. And then I do a visual, like a photo. That could be a photo, something that just resonates with me. But then at the heart of it all, I'm a Bible girl. So something that grounds me. And I do believe that in order for anything to sustain or anything to have something, you have to have foundation. So that's what my creative bookends mean. At night, sometimes I close with a 3-minute wind down. Instrumental music. I light a candle. I sage. And then I shut down completely from social media. I shut it off because I have a competitive nature. And that competitiveness in me would be like, oh no, let me show you what I put out today. Let me show you what I put out today. That's that competitive nature in me. And then it resonates in my work. You'll be like, yeah, okay, that's nice. On to the next. I just speak. Sometimes I even speak to the voice note, but this is how I protect my creativity, and not just from the noise, but from the burnout. And number 5, like I said, I keep sticky notes everywhere. And I do still believe in sticky notes. I just write one word. It could be breathe, create, God, love, lust, passion. It could be any of those words. Cook, food, provision. When I'm in the fog, I don't just open up 10, 20 tabs. I look at the sticky note and then I start again. And then the last part is number 6. I pull away from distractions. Like I said earlier, I pull away from them quicker than grits. I'm Southern, y'all. Quicker than grits. I pull away because that kind of energy, it can lead to conversations that makes me feel spiritually confused. I pause. It can probably bring out my temper, which I don't want. It causes confusion. I know that for me, anything that's of confusion is not meant for me to go down. And I don't chase. I literally don't chase, because I feel if it's for me, it's going to be right in front of me, or there's going to be someone that is put into my path that's going to give me that. So that's how I clear my creative fog. And I go more into that when I open up the course, which hopefully be at the end of this month. And I try to cater it towards the person, not towards me. Teaching can never be done if you're teaching what is for me instead of not me teaching it what is for you. There has to be character in it. And I'm not trying to chase your money. I'm trying to chase to where I can look at what you created and I can say, I was a part of that. I was impactful. And now they're out of that fog. So this is what I want to offer. And this is what I do. And so I'm so blessed that this is a place where I can express this, and hopefully I can connect with someone. And if you're in the fog, like I'm like, yo, here's the light. I'm over here. Let's get it. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I think that, so let me start by saying this. Shout out to Pete Hall, Dwayne Foreman, to Rashad. Shout out to Adrian. I appreciate you guys all being for here. If you can, share this out with a friend. Tag somebody who needs to hear this information so that we can actually get it to the people that really, really need it. Shout out to you guys for spending your Sunday with us as always. I'll say, one of the things that, like, this week specifically was a very challenging week for me. I work at a 9 to 5 where the end slash beginning of the month is absolutely just bonkers every single month. And so that is a time during the month where, and you know this internally with the team, I'm off grid. I don't have time to talk. I don't have time to respond to messages. I can't micromanage anything. I'm busy. Don't even have time to do my stuff. So it is a challenge for me to post on a consistent basis during those times of the month. Because I know that, and I've experienced it over the last, I don't know, 18 months, 2 years. One of the things that I do when I know I'm going to come up against that is I'll pre-schedule content for that.
Mhm.
I'll pre-schedule my 29th, 30th, 31st, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, that week, so that I don't have to worry about it. All I'm doing is just tapping in and checking in. And it's really then that week of the month, I'm going to tap in with other people's content. I'm not focused on me being a content creator. I'm then more of a content consumer, and I'm looking for someone who's teaching something. So this week, all week long, I listened to Eric Thomas. I had no music on. I did not, I didn't watch Market Mondays until after the fact. I didn't watch Trapping Tuesdays until after the fact. I did watch Blackout because it was a spicy conversation about a hot topic. But then I also live streamed and said, hey, don't talk to me about this trial. It's over. It's done. It can't help us get forward. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's focus. Let's lock in. And all of the rest of my content for the rest of the week was like, hey, let's teach. Let's cook. Let's give the people what they actually want. So I found an inspirational creator that I just locked in and binge watched all week long. And if you are familiar with Eric Thomas or what he does as a motivational speaker, I mean, he's gonna make you want to run through a brick wall. Just, I challenge you this week to go look up E.T. Look, I'm gonna put this in the chat. E.T. the hip hop preacher. My guy cooks every time. You can also find him at Eric Thomas, but there's a lot of Eric Thomases. So I would look up E.T. the hip hop preacher. When I tell you he is going to make you want to do better, do more, be better at what it is that you do, you're going to walk away from that video with some kind of motivation. You're going to be driven that day to do something. Work towards something, work towards a goal. You will get up off your ass and do something that day. And so all week, that's been helpful for me to, like, all right, I got to get this edit done so that I can get to the next one. Hey, I got to get this video creation done so that I can clip these up and put them together and get my voice on that video. So I'm encouraged because I found other creators that are pouring back into people the same way that I hope to with this show.
Mm-hmm.
So I followed ET's like lead all week. The other thing for me, I'll say, is I surround myself with people who are trying to get to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
And naturally, the ones that are not will just filter out. They'll just find their way out. They'll find something to work on and do. But the ones who are really locked in, they're focused, they're trying to get it, I'm busy pouring back into them during the week. So I just don't have time for a lot of other fluff and stuff.
That's right.
So, Adam, I want to just, in closing, find out, hey, did you get everything touched on that you wanted to touch on? I see our co-host is in the building. Shout out to you, my guy.
Great. I was having a great show. Then you wrote again. Let me stop. I just want to say this part. Let me leave you all with this. You're not lazy. You're not behind. You're not broken, and you're not fogged. Fog doesn't need force. It needs focus. Productivity isn't pressure. Please remember that. Productivity isn't pressure, especially with everything now that there's so many ways to be productive, and so many apps that gives you ways to be productive. So many people now are focused on that. So what I'm trying to say is productivity isn't pressure, it's posture. And posture says, I don't panic. I don't panic to prove. I pause to proceed. And if you want help in building a system that fits your real life, not some Pinterest version of productivity, I got you. Just plug into me so I can tap into you, because when clarity flows, creativity flows, everything flows. It's a signal, it's a time. So I just want to say thank you. And this was great. And I'm still thinking about what we talked on prior to this, but thanks. And if you guys have any questions, just hit me up, tap in.
I love it. Oh, that was really good. And like I said, I know that we're going to be revisiting this. And so I want to just say thank you for sharing that. And I think it was a really good conversation to have, especially with the ones that I'm seeing on the live. I'm sure there's a lot of good gems for those on the replay, but this group that's on this live, I'm really glad that we were able to have this conversation together, because most of y'all been in the trenches right along with us this entire time. So if there are things that I will speak for you, Brian, because he's not here. If he can help you, or I can help you, or Miss Adama can help you, you have a place that you can come every Sunday to ask questions. For me, if you want, I can definitely record content to address some of these things. But if we don't know it, one of the really critical things that we do is go do the research and actually bring it back here to the community so that we can really dive into how do we get to a point to where we're successful, where we see ourselves. How do we get closer to those goals that we set in, December 31st last year, and we're in July now and closing in on the end of the year really fast. How do we meet those goals? How do we accomplish those things? How do we lock it in week over week and become consistent? So, Jen, I want to go ahead and open with my presentation. So if you can drop the first slide, I want to go ahead and open with, tonight we're not just talking about AI tools for fun or talking about these processes just because. We're talking about these tools so that we can actually unlock the possibilities for you as a creator. I know a lot of us feel overwhelmed with so many new apps, so many updates every week, and it feels like you have to be everywhere all at once, right? But here's the truth. You really don't need to do everything. And here at Unleashed and Leadership Lounge and us at Martial Artistry and LL Leon and Profit Productions, we have built systems that are designed to actually help you. So you don't have to be everywhere, but you do need to choose the right doors to open. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide. AI isn't really here to replace your creativity. It's actually here to amplify it. So I gave 3 core pillars for us to lean on over the coming months. And this is hopefully for a newer creator who just started and is really confused on what can I do with all of this. So the first one is structure. So I can speak to me as an individual creator. I came up with a framework for how to generate the images that I envision in my head. So once I came up with that framework, That's the structure that keeps me kind of grounded as I'm going through my creative process. I lean on that framework. It's, yes, designed for Midjourney, but it's not exclusive to Midjourney. It's a framework that I tested across Chat, Leonardo AI. At that point, the Imagine app, obviously Midjourney, amongst a variety of other image generators. So the one thing that I found was, hey, the AI was able to amplify what I did by having a structure. Something that people don't really know about me personally is I used to play in the Seattle Youth Symphony for 4.5, almost 5 years. So I kind of think about this like an orchestra. You're the conductor, and AI is just a separate section of instruments to be able to help you finish the song faster, cleaner, and with new textures that you might not have imagined or thought about. So while you're building your prompts and your descriptions, and what did you say? Context engineering, Adama. One of the things that I design and do with my prompts is the AI gives me a shortcut to getting past being perfectionist or getting frustrated or overthinking about what am I going to create. It gives me that structure. The next thing that I do is really trying to stay consistent with, hey, every day I'm giving something to the people with no expectation of anything in return. I'm not expecting to be monetized for it. That's not really the purpose for me posting that piece of content. It's to pour into that audience member. It's to teach someone else something after the fact. We know for a fact that this industry has changed so much over, let's just say, the last 3 months. But in the last 2 years, it's changed at light speed. So instead of getting stuck, I can kind of keep moving. And that's where the magic and the income start to grow, is by being consistent and sticking to the structure.
Mhm.
The third part is talking about automation, and that is a little more complex. So one of the things that I wanted to really dial in and learn about in my prompt engineering, and now we call it context engineering, is how do I make the most of my time while I'm prompt engineering? That's only half of the process. And I want to find a way to make what I do more efficient. So you've heard me over the last several weeks, especially since Midjourney updated the video, talking about a new way of being able to prompt and be more efficient with my time by adding in permutations, really dialing in my parameters. And that allows me to prompt once and get a lot of results so that I can be more consistent because I have more results to choose from, because I stuck with my structure and my framework. So we've talked today about two different paths to that clarity. And Adama gave a really, really solid path forward with avoiding fog and the creative bookends, where I lean on my structure to guide me in my process. So I wonder if I can stop for a moment, ask the audience, type a one if you find that you have a difficulty with creating the images. And if you've got your process kind of dialed and locked in, and that's not the area that you struggle with, drop a two. And while they're doing that, Adama, I wonder if you can answer me this. We've been around each other for about 18 months, almost 2 years. And I wonder if being around each other and talking about the prompt engineering, has that made it easier for you to generate the images? The start of the process, has it made it easier?
Yes. If you do not have a process, I will say that if you do not have a process, then that's the face what I just made. That, I mean, you cannot really wing it. Not at this phase of. I hope you guys can hear me because I pushed the mic over there.
Yeah, you good.
Okay. You cannot really. I feel I'm gonna go ahead. Let me stop holding my words. You cannot really excel to the greatness that you want to excel if you do not have the structure. Period. There's no more winging it. I mean, which is why they're now changing the context of the word from prompt engineering to context engineering to prompt architecture. Yeah, you have to have a solid. You have to have a solid foundation in order to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
In order to prompt, at first in the very beginning, it was cool to wing it, but it's not anymore. It spills out.
So let me ask you a quick follow-up because you mentioned something at the very beginning when we did updates. You said we are trying to project for a solid week of ChatGPT outage, potentially, allegedly. What do you think that's going to do to individuals' workflow who are just relying solely on ChatGPT to do the prompt engineering for them, either for images or for video or for a combination of both? What do you think that outage will do to their process?
You're going to find out who knows and who knows not. I mean, it's almost like the have and the have nots. If you don't have that, I literally can go, and I know you can, I know Uriah can, and I know Jen can. I'm going to speak for us. I know that even if there was an outage with chat or even our AI assistants, whatever you use, we have enough creativity, enough prompting on our own to where we can go in and we can still create and not miss a beat. And it's not even just with just creating, enough with our workflow. And I know that sometimes we try to make people feel comfortable, like, oh no, guys, okay, that's me, my horrible acting. Oh no, I really don't get it, because at this point you have to have a backup with the backup, especially if they're so quick to say we are paying customers, and for them to say something about possibly being out for a week and then you have no structure and flow. What will you do if the lights are out? Are you just going to sit in the dark, or are you going to light a candle, or you're going to try to MacGyver it? I mean,
well, and that has been the sole purpose of Unleashed AI and building those guides and leaving the tips and tools on. All right, even if we don't have the AI assistant and the chatbots to like help us copy and paste prompts, hey, we already gave the entire framework and then repeated it. And then 3 months later, repeated it. And then 3 months later, repeated it. And then refined it. And then repeated it again. And then we talked about it on the show. And then we talked about it on the film contest watch party. We've talked about it again a couple of weeks ago on My Life. Like, we're still revisiting how to do that, because all of us, myself included, we still have work to do.
Right.
We might be ahead of a lot of others, but we're behind a lot of others too. So it's really important. And I know Uriah always talks about, hey, you got to get a process and lock that down. Find that process that works for you. So for me, it's those 3 pillars. And Jen, I wonder if you can put that back up on screen. It's the 3 pillars that I really lean on. That is leading me into this next segment of, hey, this is the bridge to monetization for me. Getting the structure, then being consistent, and then making it an automatic, hey, you don't even have to think about it, process from start to finish. If we can go to the next slide. So we create these dope images and videos, but then what? So you're posting every day. You're not seeing any growth. You're not seeing any money coming in. You're super frustrated and asking friends, hey, yo, how'd you get the 500 views without sharing the groups. Hey, what'd you do to like get 2K views? Like what do you do? Are you making any money off of reels, flick shorts, etc.? Are you making any money? Shout out to one of our creators that's in our private group. Hey, she went viral. She had over 100K views. I wonder what the monetization looks like on that. And then this is a separate, and I'm not shooting at this individual. Are they ready when that actually happens to put other products in front of all those eyeballs? Are we setting ourselves up? I get it that we get frustrated with the lack of views, the lack of engagement, and we all want to be successful, but are we making ourselves prepared for when that moment happens? That's why I wanted to share some revenue streams. And Jen, I wonder if you can hit that slide. I think I might have skipped one, but I wanted to share some revenue streams so that you can see what it looks like beyond the likes and more into actual impact of your wallet and your creator freedom. So I gave a top 5 revenue streams for newer creators. Let's keep it real. Most newer creators are just overwhelmed. And so I want to simplify it down to 5. These make it a little easier. So one of the ways is ad revenue. Once you're consistent on the platforms like YouTube and Facebook and TikTok, fan base, they'll pay for views. You don't have to have millions, but consistency gets you a start down that road. I can speak to personally on Facebook. I began monetizing December of 2023, January 2024, and I started tracking that process with our private group and showing screenshots, talking about, hey, my actual metrics. And then it hit the next, cycle of the year where it's like, hey, there's not as many people on and the actual revenue dipped. So you're gonna have to then do other things. So I started asking for donations and fan funding. Hey, you can send stars and this is how we're going to use the stars. But people won't support you if you don't give them value. I can hear Uriah in my head. Rewind, rewind, rewind. People will not support you if you're not giving value. You'd be surprised at how many people want to buy you coffee or help your creativity keep going, but you gotta ask. The other thing that may help you to be more consistent in terms of the monetization, memberships and subscriptions. That's kind of the next level. That's your inner circle. That's the exclusive content. That's the behind the scenes access. That's the early drops. Those are the special offers. But it's also a way for you to have a little more dialed in community that they're all kind of in the same general space and phase of their growth. Most of us as AI creators, we're still in growth phase. We're not ready to scale yet. We're still growing and establishing. We're branding. We're getting our name out there in front of other people. Well, the memberships and subscriptions are those that have already tapped in with you. The other thing is sponsored content. Even small creators can partner with brands, even if you have an engaged community. Think local brands. One of the ones that are here in Hawaii, I want to actually work with is the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. We make custom water bottles. Here you go. I would love to be able to get these into a Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. And I would be happy to shoot content talking about how I love drinking coffee all day, every day. But that would be a way that I could work with some sponsored content. The other thing is the user generated sponsorship. So one of the things that you've seen us do is find other creators and friends of the show and we talk about what they do. Anytime somebody, and we're going to do it here very shortly, I'm going to say to Adama, hey, Adama, do you have anything going on this week? Let the people know where they can find you. Go ahead and drop in the updates. This is a way that we can collaboratively do user-generated content and then redistribute. When Kim had her film contest, we ran her clips all the way leading up to the film contest as a way to cross promote and help each other out. So there's other ways of generating the income and building partnerships and working towards that instead of just thinking, how do I just get views?
Mm-hmm.
Start thinking, how do I open these doors instead? Adama, what's your thoughts on that? Just real quick.
I was giving you sound effects. I was trying not to interrupt you, but I was sitting over here like, yes, say it again. They didn't hear that. Collaborate. I think I threw it out there. I threw it out there in the live. Like what you said is it's way more than just the views. Forget those. I mean, there's a way, like what you just said. I mean, the structure and time management that does lead to revenue. I'm pointing at it like that because it does. Once you get out of it's almost like when you first jump into the whole AI art experience and tapping in more, not even just the AI art part, but tapping in more to your skills and going hard at it. It's more than just getting the views and the followers.
Oh yeah.
It's more than just touching the fuzzy, like you're touching the fuzzy, like, oh, yay, this is great. You gave, those are key fundamental parts that you just gave for how to create money and revenue and collaborations and partnerships that can take you a long way. You're opening doors. Doors are being opened.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So here's the next steps. If you're serious about turning this into more than a hobby, the next step is simple. You got to start today, not tomorrow, not when you wake up. You got to start today. Pick a revenue stream, focus on it, build a business plan. You need to, as a creator, you need to start your creator business plan. I'm going to put another one in the chat right here. So the other person that I watched this week was Roberto Blake. He did a really good breakdown of a lot of things, but the main topic was, hey, how do you build your creator business plan? What are the things that you don't even know you're supposed to be thinking about that you need to actually dial in? And I know that that's one of the things that I would, if Uriah were here right now, I would lean on him. Hey, I wonder if you can dive into this. So those that are here today, share this out with a friend, number one. Number two, remember that, hey, we're going to have to revisit this conversation. And I wonder if I can challenge you all to come up with one question for us apiece that might be helpful for you to get to that next step. I'm dropping Roberto Blake into the chat. He is the gentleman. He's on YouTube. He is very, very raw. He is going to tell it like it is, and you may not like hearing it, but he is giving an entire blueprint on how to get from, hey, this is a hobby, I enjoy doing whatever the thing is that you're doing, to, all right, this is a business and I actually want to become sustainable. I want to grow it. I want to scale it. I want to exit. I want to hand it down to my kids, whatever that looks like for you. He's one that I lean on often for, hey, okay, I'm kind of gotten to this stagnant space and I'm frustrated. And how do I get over this hump? He's one that I lean on often. When I need the spiritual rejuvenation, Eric Thomas is one of the other ones. You've heard me talk about my journey into more media and less of being a content creator. And I know it feels like a big Past, but remember, every big tree started as a tiny seed.
Yeah.
So your first image, your first post, my first awkward live stream that I can't even watch today. Those are your seeds. AI can help you water them, but you're still the gardener. I'm here to help you plant, grow, and then keep moving forward. So I wonder if you can drop the last key highlights for our folks today, because we're getting close to the end. So the key takeaways: AI is your amplifier. It's not your replacement. A lot of people are spreading that type of sentiment, and I want to reiterate, hey, this is a good opportunity for you to learn how to mesh with this tool and not view it as, hey, it's coming to replace what you do. Number two, I would pick one revenue stream and I would start working towards that. And some of that means dialing in and looking at, hey, what do your metrics look like? What do your insights look like? Where are you actually getting traction? What do those people need an answer to? What problem can you solve for them that they are telling you, hey, I need help with this thing? For me, I am the context engineer or prompt engineer. That's the thing that I enjoy to do. That's the thing that I've dialed in, that I can explain it front to back to front, at 3 o'clock in the morning, at 11 o'clock midnight. I've dialed in that part of the process. So I picked that and I'm growing out from there. The next thing, consistency. Set yourself up with a plan, a business plan, a content calendar, a content strategy. You're going to need to actually put together an actual structure to help you get to the place where you want to get to. The last thing, your community is your first product. That's the thing that's actually going to help you grow the most. I want to stop and shout out to both our Leadership Lounge Live community, our AI Anonymous community, and our Unleashed AI Creativity community. Those three are really what keeps me going and doing what I do on a regular basis. As much as I aim to pour into them, they pour more into me and help me to keep going. And I want to say thank you publicly to both my co-host, Miss Adama, my co-host, Mr. Uriah, our producer, Jen, our music coordinator, Leslie Blair, and all of the friends of the show that continue to help this community grow in the ways that we are growing. I personally want to thank you guys. You guys are actually what keeps this community driven. I want to ask you and challenge you to continue to do that at the high level that you guys have been. And if you need something to help and I can help, don't hesitate to reach out. Adama, that's it for my presentation. I know I went over the 25 minutes, but I think this was really important and key. And I wonder if there was a key takeaway for you.
The key takeaway for me, there's a whole bunch, but I'm going to go over the top one. I think that you pointed out, we both managed to point out the difference in our creativity. You're more of the, I want to go ahead and use your new word. You're more of the context engineer, and there's so much more structure to what you do. I'm more of the empathic, more clarity, more spiritual, more on this like, oh, I'm feeling this. But I did learn something.
The empath. You're the empath. That's what I would say.
I am the empath of it. So, but I did learn something that I'm going to implement that I haven't done, and I'm going to stand on it and not be afraid. I am going to start asking the people, what do you want? What is it that I create that you would like to see, or something that I don't create that you would love to see me dive into just for a moment? Because I've never really thought about it like that. And then it also pointed out to me the shift is still happening. Of course, the shift is happening because technology is, but like there's a shift within inside the shift that is still happening, even to what you're doing with the prompt, with the creative engineering, the prompt architecting. There's so much more that's happening within the rules and the guidelines of everything. Now there's books and things being written and the structure being written to it. And the key thing that I keep taking away is structure, structure, structure. And I even said that with posture, you know, there's a posture to it. Mm-hmm. So, and I loved how you said, start today. Start today. Don't, even if it's just 15 minutes. I even said to you earlier, 3 to 5 minutes, but start and go back and look at some of those things that are in the leadership, in the Unleashed AI. We have those books and things you put together. I know I'm going beyond it. I just want you guys to have direction. Direction is very important for me. And we have the architect over there. And then we have the productivity guy, you know, who I can't stand wherever, you know, where he's at.
Yeah, he was in the chat. No, but that's what makes us unique. But that what you just described, that's what makes us unique. Yeah. Is we are going to give not all the same answer. It may be this along the same lines, but it won't be the same process from start to finish. And we're each giving you a very unique perspective. So you have room to compare and contrast and find what works for you.
Mm-hmm. And shout out, like he said, I want to thank everyone. Thank you all for always showing up and asking questions and being here. But this was a great segment for us, Lewis. I love this. I love this.
Yeah, this was really good. I wonder if you can tell them where they can find you. And then if you have any updates, any products or anything you want to get off, go ahead and do your thing.
So you can find me where Lovely Producer put it at. You can find me right here. You can find me on all social media. As Kim Officers put it before, you could just Google me. I'm on all platforms. You can also reach out to me. As everyone knows, and I keep saying this, I'm in college parent mode, but I'm not going to let that stop me because I need to be structured and I need to do this. But I'm going to have all my things up. I do have a lot of fall jewelry coming out. I do have my course plan coming out for fall. And as I said, I create for the person, for the individual, which spends time with me getting to know you so I can create that plan for you because not everybody is the same. But yeah. And many blessings.
I love it. I love it. All right. So I will leave the people with this. If you are an aspiring content creator who's struggling with how to get the most out of your images, your videos, your content, I'd like to invite you to check out our cinematic training guide as well as our versatile prompt packs. This is the way that I break down those details that are so critical to my process. For each subject and each scene, these are the tools that really allow me the structure and the consistency so that I can actually reach the audience that I want to get to. So if that's something that interests you, definitely check us out at marshallartistry.com. The other thing that I also want to mention at the close that I mentioned at the beginning is that we have got a new Facebook page for the Leadership Lounge Network. I'd like to invite you to like and follow that page. That is where we'll be distributing some new content as well. I also want to close out and say thank you to everybody for being here. I think this is a really important conversation that is going to be multiple conversations and it will continue to evolve. I just think it's really important for us to have a space to do that. And so I want to thank Adama personally for putting her portion together, being willing to share your perspective and give of yourself to the audience. I personally really, really appreciate it. I think this was a great conversation for both of us to have. And I will say that one of the things that I took away is you talked about creative bookends and being intentional. I think that I could be more intentional with some of my content and how I deliver it, my delivery. So I think that that's going to be my takeaway for this week is being more intentional in my delivery of the content that I create. So thank you for that.
No, thank you. This was dope. And I'm going to check out those people that you said and be ready for that Roberto so he can give me the business.
Oh, yeah. He's going to give you that work. He's about to give you that work. But this last one this week, I have watched that video twice and I have a full page of notes of things that I thought I was doing and thought I was doing well. And found out in real time, hey, I'm missing a whole bunch of things that I just didn't even know I didn't know. While I may be feeling like I'm doing well, there's always room for growth. And so I think it's important that we here at the lounge continue to provide the high quality of value for our audience because I can see them growing. Yo, shout out to Pete. Pete's video this week was crazy good. And I think that I talked with both co-hosts about a segment going forward, but I think I'm gonna put together a video segment for us to highlight some other creators. I saw so many good videos this week that I think I want to just carve out a couple minutes, 5 minutes to just, hey, yo, this was a video I saw this week. Shout out to this creator. And that way we can all continue to pour into each other. It also creates an opportunity for us to kind of showcase and talk about how we do what we do in a safe space. So
I like that, Lewis. That's a dope idea. I'm sorry. That was pretty dope. I'm excited about that.
Won't that be fun?
That would be so much fun to highlight it, like that beginning running clip. That would be amazing because Pete is really. Remember we talked about him about a month back, and we were saying yo, just let it move, and he's.
Yep. And now he's off and running, cooking. He's cooking over there. So I just want to shout out one of our fellow creators that's been in the trenches. Yo, shout out Pete. Keep going. Keep doing your thing. It's looking good. I love it. I'm here for it. So with that being said, in closing, Adama, I appreciate you. I look forward to seeing more content from you as soon as we get off the live.
Yeah, I'm about to spam y'all. Sorry.
So with that being said, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And we will see you guys next Sunday. Peace out.
Love you guys.